Hey guys, how's it going? It's the Anime Over Analyst here, and today I'm going to be going over Black Clover Opening 6. This is going to be another breakdown in my Black Clover Opening Breakdown series, and I'm super excited to be doing this one. It should be a fairly straightforward one, although I've looked at the video several times, and I think there's a few things that I'd like to point out. So, without further ado, let's just jump right into it. Just as a note, I am on 4K using 0.25 speed because I keep getting copyrighted. So I'm going to be pausing a lot. Anyways, first thing that I'm going to mention here, we get the scene of a clover opening. It is a four-leaf clover. Actually, it's a five-leaf clover, my bad. It's a five-leaf clover that is black, kind of representing Asta's five-leaf clover. Hence why, the anime's called Black Clover. Asta has a black clover on his grimoire. It's a five-leaf clover. So yeah, that's just kind of a nice opening shot. We get a fade out. By the way, this is version 2. I will also paraphrase that. The reason why I say that is just because it's better rendered. So we got magma literally standing in front of magma because it's magna. Get a nice little fade out. Then we got Noelle sinking, I suppose, or she's floating. She's just kind of there in her water. That's her element, of course. Noelle being the water mage, or yeah, water mage that she is. Next we have Soul, which is kind of an interesting addition. Kind of just like she's not too prevalent in this arc. This is the tournament arc in the Black Clover, but she's here, and so we get this really nice shot of just the earth crumbling around her because that's her magic. She has like earth golem magic, which is pretty cool. So, we got a little bit of buffering. That's the one problem with 4K. Now we've got Luck looking over a rainy ravine, and guess what? There's lightning in the background because that is Luck's attribute. It is lightning. And so we got that cool lightning effect going on. Then we've got the Snow Girl from Azure Deer, I believe is the name of the. It's Rill's uh, group. Literally, she and Rill are the only people from this group that I remember. So, this squad. I don't know why I couldn't remember that name. So, yeah, just kind of an interesting. She does have a little bit of a moment when she goes up against Leo in that uh, battle. So, got her. Then we got a shot of Mimosa, and what's really cool is that we got a flower blooming right next to her. So, that just makes a nice, really, really solid effect. Next, we have this guy. He is the vice. No, he's not the vice captain, but he's just kind of like under the vice captain of the Golden Dawn. He's like one of the top ranked officers, and he has a huge grudge against Yuno because Yuno is a rising star, and he thinks he's taking the spotlight. So that's pretty much this guy's character in a nutshell. So we get next is this guy. I don't. Oh, Hammond. That's his name. He's the glass guy, which is kind of cool. He's in this kind of like cave area, which reminiscence, and we've got the reflection of all the crystals in the water, kind of representing his glass magic. So that's really really cool. I'm really liking that. Okay, I'm gonna stop the 4K for some reason. It might be my computer just can't handle the 4K speed, so I'm gonna go back to 1440. It's literally like pretty much the same effects. We've got standing in front of a tornado because magic affinity is wind, of course. So, once again, just some really, really cool establishing shots. I like this. This is Asta alone in darkness, surrounded by these little candles, who I like to, think is his friends. If you look really closely on his left side, right around here, you can actually see like the demon part coming up his face. So he's kind of in his demon form a little bit, but it's really showing the isolation and the darkness that Asta feels. That it's most prevalent in these OPs and the endings, the darkness that Asta feels, and I wish they incorporate that more into the anime. They do incorporate it a little bit more into the manga, but here in the openings, I really like just kind of the subtleties of his character. Asta can't always be happy-go-lucky, so that's just a really really nice kind of homage to that, I suppose. And then we get this nice close up of Asta opening his eyes, and this is the demon side that's coming out of him. And in fact, the demon shows up here, and he's going like, "Haha, I have control of you," which is kind of interesting because if you're caught up in the manga, I am not caught up in the anime, so I don't know if they introduced this guy yet. But if you're caught up in the manga, he's quite an interesting character. That's all I will say. Um, so yeah, now we're gonna get a really really cool transition. This is really when the Black Clover really starts nailing the graphics. Amazing graphics. So we've got just the Black Clover logo, of course. We still got the the five-leaf clover in the background. Yes, I'm pausing it. That's mainly because I'm trying to avoid copyright issues. That was literally a problem in my last breakdown. Deal with it. We get this nice, cool page turnover, and we get this image of a devil. This does look like the same devil that's in Asta's Black Clover, which I think this is an actual page from his grimoire. So that's really cool. Just kind of a neat little effect going on here. So we get this transition. The one problem of being, oh, that's right. This is where they post the episode or chapter 24. That stuff. We get this nice shot of Nero flying down. Nero slash Secre. She's flying down, and you're getting towards the Colosseum. That Colosseum there was where Asta and first became Magic Knights. That was when they took the exam. And here we get Asta up against the wall. We've got the light coming in. And this is something that I've noticed in a lot of these openings. And it's something that I'm constantly pointing out. So if you've followed any of my openings, you know where I'm going with this. Asta is always looking to the left, and his left side of his face is always in shadow, while the light is always on his right side. It's always there. It always kind of signifies his demon side here, which is a really nice nudge. And I like how the Black Bulls logo is on his left side, the right side of the screen, because the Black Bulls has done so much for his life. It's almost like the squad itself is what made Asta become who he is. It's what gave him so much positivity, even though he's looking away from it. So we get this kind of blur transit effect, which is super cool because it kind of shows the instability of what he's feeling right now. We get this nice close up of him going and looking towards the light, just kind of really showing how he does feel the negative aspects. He feels the burden of being magicless, but he still is constantly looking at the light, constantly looking for the positiveness or just the positive sides. He closes his eyes, but then we get, okay, so I thought he opens it. My bad. So we get this image of this is Asta's art in red, and you'll know this because red is pretty much in this OP signifying Asta, and you got all the demon language, all the background, and also, here's your 5-leaf clover. So that's just further confirmation that this is Asta. Just reaching out. Then we've got the black bolts. Once again, Asta. So that's like 3 hints saying that this is Asa's hand reaching out. Here we have Yuno's hand. We know it's Yuno because it's with his green color. Green is his affinity. Then we also have another written language on his arms, pretty much indicating the Elven language that Yuno is associated with. So that is incredibly cool. And so we've got all the Elven text that's going on, and here's the 4-leaf clover. Once again, here's the Golden Dawn representing, Yuno's squad. And I just now noticed the eyes in the sun. That's actually really creepy. Maybe signifying just like the demon or the devil. That's super creepy. But we got there just the Golden Dawn signal rising up above, and Yunos once again looking away. He's always looking on the other side. The shadowed face is the side that he wears the crown on when he goes into that elven form. So he's looking away. And he's looking back up towards the light, kind of like Asta. Well, they're both Asta and Yuno is doing those is mirroring each other. However, Asta closed his eyes and Yuno's looking up because it could be that Yuno is looking up to Asta. It could just also be like how Yuno's nature is very confident. He's a very confident person. Next, we have this scene of Yuno's magic stone, and it's starting to expand out, and we get all this demonic effects going on here on the left side. That's just to represent the evil nature or the evil power that's within the stone. I won't even say it's evil per se, but it's just so much magical power that is used in order to bring back all the elves. So I think that's what it's being referenced here. Next, we have a shot here of all the captains. We've got Vengeance, Silva, Yami, Charlotte, Jack the Ripper, Rill, Dorothy, and Vosh, I believe, is the guy on the left. I can never remember the Purple Orcas people because they're the ones I hear the least about. They're all standing on top of the Clover Castle, just overlooking everything, being a badass. Then we got the best waifu of Black Clover, obviously. It's Mereoleona. I don't even know if you want to consider her a waifu because she will kick your ass to next year. She is so cool. She's such a cool character, and we get this amazing effect of just her firepower and the hawk eyes behind her. Next, we have this image here. These are all the participants in this tournament arc that, go up against each other. I've tried finding like any resemblance or any symbolism between the red and the blue. However, I really could not find any of that out. So if you can point something out that I have missed, please comment down below. I'm sure that I've missed a lot anyways in this video. But yeah, these are just all the other side characters that are more or less important in this arc. More or less, they're pretty much here. We got this cool effect of everyone just kind of expanding. Next, we have pretty much the focal points of this arc. We have Longris and Finral staring each other down. Older brother versus younger brother, with their wife that's Longris is supposed to marry in the background. Longris doesn't treat her fairly, and Finral wants her. And really, it's whoever becomes the head of the family gets her. That's just kind of how the Black Clover politics is working out. And Longris is kind of the evil villain in this arc because he becomes super jealous of Finral. They're both kind of jealous with each other, but Longrus takes it to the extreme. He has like an inferiority complex like nobody else's business. And he practically goes around and destroys everything because that's just what he does. So we get just nice imagery. Then we get this cross, and we have Noelle and her brother. I don't remember his name, so I'm just going to call him Silva. Actually, no, I think it's Nozel. I think it's Nozel. Um, Either that or Nozel is the oldest brother. Anyways, he's been the one that's probably been the cruelest to Noelle for no reason whatsoever. And you might think that it's really her oldest brother that's the cruelest, but you find out later that he was more just trying to protect her, while as this brother was just straight up cruel. He was just mean to her for just to be mean, and she beats him, which is really cool. Then we got Asta pulling out his sword here. I think this one is the anti-magic sword. So he's pulling it out, going back and forth. I always love this shot because we have Julius, the Wizard King, being Julius, which is he just loves magic for the sake of magic. Then we've got the real king who doesn't care about anything but himself. And of course, we have all the, onlookers behind them. And of course, Marx. Can't forget Marx. So, just a really cool shot, just really illustrating these two characters. Then we get a shot of the battlefield. These are really quick glances, so I'm just going to skip back just a little bit. We get a shot of the battlefield, what's going on. Then we get a shot of all the Black Bull members that are not participating in this tournament arc, just cheering them on. Of course, we've got Gray, Ghosh, Vanessa, Gordon, and Charmy. Charmy is real interesting because she's just there, like with the Wizard King, and he just accepts her. It's really cool. We get the scene of that. These are the crystals that everybody has to defend. Then we get Mimosa's cousin. This guy's name is Virsh. And I really wanted to remember that because for the longest time I thought his name was Soul, which it turns out Soul is the girl, she's the Golem girl that is in the second or third image in the beginning. But this is Veer. She's got the beautiful flower petal magic that he likes to flaunt around. And that's what he's doing here. He's just flaunting around his magic petal image. He's on, as you could see there, it was real brief. He has Magna and Soul on the other side on his team. So it goes Magna, Veer, Soul. And they're going up against Asta, who is charging full on, trying to beat back Magna's buckshot. This is actually a super important scene because this is where Magna and Asta really start to recognize each other. Then we got a tornado of flower petals, and you actually quickly see Soul flying down before you have Magna basically beelining for Asta because they're kind of rivals in a way. They're just friendly comrades. Then we got probably the weirdest scene in this OP, and it's just this mixture of flower blossoms and fire and anti-magic just going on at once. It's really weird, but you see Asta in the background. It's like he's fighting off everyone. Then we get this cut to Mimosa doing her first and pretty much only attack spell, which is this sunflower ability. Reminds me a lot of King's Chasteful ability from Seven Deadly Sins. And she's targeting it at her brother, who thinks it's beautiful because that's all he thinks about is himself being beautiful. get this massive attack. And Asta says something. It's pretty much in tune to the song, but he's standing there in front of Mimosa, guarding Mimosa and the crystal. However, in the background, we also see Zora in the background. Just that he's the one that does everything in the shadows, and you can see he's in the shadows because that's literally Zora's character. He does everything sneaky like. So he's doing that, and he's sitting there, and his father puts a hand in his shoulder, Zara. And Zara is a real interesting character because he pretty much shaped Julius. He made Julius become who he is today. But you have Zora looking up to his father, Zara, and you get an image of him being a kid, just kind of looking up to him, and never quite reaching what he believes to be his dad's potential. We get a next scene of Luck dancing around, being Luck, just kicking this guy's butt. We have these two guys going up, sending in an attack, and who is that in the middle? Honestly, I can't really tell. Then we have her name. I can't remember to save off the top. You can really tell that some of these characters I really don't care about, but she's the one that is like vice captain to like the Charlotte's Coop. Then we've got Claus coming up with an attack. That attack connects with this dude. Noelle, then we get a transition of Noelle summoning her sea dragon, and she goes and just kind of does it's got that really cool effect that normally happens where Norman or she does what she does. She's attacking her brother's own personal sea dragon. You can see how she's able to take advantage and just destroy him. We get this nice quick shot of preparing up a spell with Belle next to him, just kind of representing his magic. In his eyes, he sees Longris going all Hulk mode, which might actually be a quick reference to the devil manipulating the elves, because, of course, has that elven blood or elven soul in him, and uh, Longris also is possessed by, or does have the nature of an the nature of an elf. Then we have Finral really just opening his eyes. I think at this point he's more pitying his brother because he's seeing how his brother is becoming such a maniac. In the manga, they say that Finral's new power is what made his hair go green. In the anime, I believe he just said he just wanted to dye his hair for like the ladies or something. So it was just kind of an interesting chase. But we have this cool moment of all the Black Bulls, minus Asta, defending Finral. Because this is the moment where Longris really, really goes nuts. And they're in the anime, it's really just Luck, Magna, and Asta who pretty much protect Finral from it like a death attack. And it was a very intense scene. But here it's more of the entire squad has Finral's back, which is really quite amazing. And I just now kind of noticed this. This is for those manga only fans. We've got Gauche and Gray next to each other. That's all I'm saying. So, we get just some more cool CGI effects. They've really ramped up the CGI in this OP, and it's really cool. Then we've got Longris going all Hulk mode, kind of losing control of his powers, and he's just going berserk. Then Asta, in his demon form, coming from the left, is attacking Longris. And if you notice, everything lightens up. And I like to say this is kind of in reference to Asta trying to snap Longris out of it. You can also say that the lights might represent the elves, whereas the dark the darkness, like literally in both of them, is being manipulated by the devil. I can I can say see both of that. It just really depends. Comment down below what you think the light and darkness means. Is it just light and darkness? I don't know. I'm an overanalyst. I like to think that there's a little bit more meaning here. So we have Asta straight up right about to smash him. We had a small scene of everybody standing around, but that's not really much to comment on. This is just kind of the end with everyone looking up into the sky and just seeing the sun. It's just a really, really, really cool shot. Just Black Clover nailing these shots. So we get a whiteout, and I believe that would be the end to this video. So the rest of this video is to this channel, and I really want to. Ooh, I got mail. I want to shout out this guy, any crad, who really actually put the time to put the 4K down. I know that this video, the 4K was really, really being awful. You see, Asta's Devil. I'm not gonna go into any of that, but that's pretty much what he looks like. Anyways, that's going to be it for me. Thank you so much for checking out this video. I've been the Anime Overanalyst, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.